afternoon or evening, depending on your location. Everybody, I was going to be doing this as a cooking live stream, but it's just too hot right now. So I don't know. We might do some cooking a little bit later, in a couple hours, but it's too warm right now. But I thought I'd get on here and chat anyway. So in the meantime, I gotta bring up my chat window here. Let's see here. Ooh. Yeah, that and it was a stressful day today too. But let's see here. That was better, I think. Got chat. Make it full screen. I'm pretty sure I can see that. Hey, Grandpa Paul. Switch over to live chat. Yeah, I had too warm, man. I tell you what, I got a little bit stressful today with the tractor and stuff, and I'll tell you about it a little bit later. But I mean, it wasn't anything bad. It ended up getting expensive, but not bad. But I don't know, if it cools down in an hour or so towards the end of this live stream, I might go ahead and start a fire in a couple hours, see what the temperature is. Right now, it's just too warm for me to enjoy a fire. Yeah, and I gotta fire up the chainsaw. Here, I'll show you. I gotta fire up the chainsaw before I even start the firewood. Let's see here, I gotta reverse this camera. And come on now, I can't see the picture. There we go. I gotta cut up the firewood that's on in that. That's a bunch of maple that I got there, maple limbs. Got to cut that up, but it's even too hot to fire up that chainsaw and run it. So it's going to be a spell. Let me reverse this camera back. But anyway, that's where I'm at. How you tennis shoes? No, I better turn that chainsaw over. It's kind of upside down. I mean, I'm hoping it cools down enough for me to feel like enjoying the fire this evening, but I don't know. It's pretty warm on out. It's got to be in the 90s. We'll see in about an hour. I might go ahead and start a fire going in about an hour, and it'll take a while for the coals to get ready to burn. Well, I did too. That most of my chainsaw work, most of the work I got done first thing in the morning, then it started to get warm, and I started taking lots of breaks. But yeah, I'll say it's not any really big deal. Nothing scary really happened. But just things didn't go as smooth as I'd planned on other stuff. It wasn't just firewood that I was dealing with today. But it is what it is. Oh man, I tell you what, it's actually the temperatures are warm, but it's not unbearable hot. It's actually kind of enjoyable. Just not enjoyable. It's just not. It's still. I like the temperatures of what we're having. Just a little bit too warm for a fire. Yeah, ice water. Yeah, I tell you what, I don't drink ice water anymore. You can waterlog yourself really easy on ice water. I just whatever the outdoor temperature is of the water sitting in the shade, that's what I drink. I did see a guy several years ago. The job site we used in the got water container, we used to keep them full of ice, keep it full of ice water. Dump a bunch of ice, buy a big old bag of ice and dump it in there, and then fill it up with water. And we didn't have cups. We just pick up that 5-gallon got container, hold it up over our head, push the button, and just let it pour in our mouth. And this one kid, he was probably 19, 20 years of age. He did that and just started chugging that ice cold water. And the boss man told him, he said, knock it off. Don't be doing that. That's not good for you to do that. He said, oh, I do it all the time. And he chugged a bunch more of that ice water and set it down. And it was probably 110 degrees out that day. It was pretty warm. This was down in California. The guy took 10 steps and then dropped. They weren't able to revive him. So yeah, I'm kind of shy of ice water now. Man, we had over a month of nothing but rain here, Paul. You're lucky. I don't think it actually quite made 90 today. I think it's probably about 80, 88, close to 90, but it's in the upper 80s. Yeah, your body can't process um, to foods that are too cold until they warm up to your body temperature, and you take too much of it, on a hot day, you can send your body into shock. And also, have you ever noticed when you drink a bunch of water, all of a sudden you're just thirsty, you can't satisfy that thirsty you can't quench that thirst? Part of that problem is that water, when you drink it and it's ice cold, your body can't process it, can't start delivering it to the rest of the body. So your stomach just keeps on filling up with more and more ice water, and it's cooling your stomach down faster than it's warming up the water. The water can't be processed until it turns to body temperature, basically. So that's why people get waterlogged. Oh. Ah. So tennis shoes is Cornbread working up some more mischief to get on into, or is he just sitting there still recuperating? I hope he's working up with some more mischief. Oh, Judith and Dan Davis, you can feel it hit bottom when it's cold. Yeah. Anyway, I might as well tell you all what happened today. Yeah, I went down below, was working the wood. I had a bunch of brush piles that when I brushed it all on up, I had a bunch of dirt and rock on in there. And I want to burn that brush this fall when I can have a brush burn. I can't do that now with fire season. We got the fire restrictions. I want to burn it down into biochar. So I was working that pile, separating, getting all the brush, separated from the rocks and the dirt that was in there, kind of working it, stuff like that. I didn't even notice it. I got the brush pile all separated, chunks that I could pull up to cut into firewood, like what I just brought up here, 4 or 5 inches in diameter. I separated that to just cut up into firewood, for the fire pit here. And then I came back up here and I started building this timber frame last year that I haven't finished yet, but it was in my way because I need to move the logs in front of the sawmill over here, over where that timber frame was, so I can get in and move the sawmill up to closer to the shop, so I can do some welding on it. Weld the stops on the end so it's not going to roll over the end and stuff, and do a few things, get it set up ready for me to move way at the other end, which would be a long ways away from the arc welder. So anyway, I dragged those two things up, the two panels that I had, the two timber frames, all the beams, the cross members, all notched and everything, but nothing was pinned together. I hadn't put drilled it, put the dowels in yet to pin everything together yet. Man, it just kept on falling apart on me, which it didn't damage anything, but when I built it, it was wedged nice and tight. I thought it'll be fine. I can drag it up there. Well, this dry heat's really shrunk it down, and it ain't nice and tight anymore. So anyway, I did manage to get that all done, but I was getting frustrated with having to hop off the tractor, tie things back together, taking a chain to binder and working this section and that section to pull things together and get it back together. And finally got it up there and come down. It wasn't even paying with attention with the tires on the tractor at that point. Now, when I first started the tractor, I checked the tire. I always check the tires before I start using it, and everything was good. So, so then, so we're doing the brush down below. It was fine. I believe it was fine when I pulled the timber frame stuff up the skidding road over here, and then I hopped on the tractor this afternoon to go down and get this wood that I got on the tractor right now. Got halfway down the hill and seen that I had a flat tire. Oh shit! Well, I didn't want to turn around and come back up the hill. I figured, well, I'm just going to go get a little bucket full, and I went down there, finished, got down there, didn't make any sharp turns, and I put the bucket on down. So I was keeping the weight off the front tire, so I wanted to try not to destroy it. But you still got to lift the bucket off so the tires come on down, so it'll grab and turn, and then you straighten it on out. Then I push the bucket down and take the weight off of it. Got on down there, got it loaded on up with that firewood there that I showed you, and did the same thing. Just put the bucket down, lift the tires off the ground, drive it up, then put the weight on the front wheels, and keep it on the road. Just steering it back and forth. Got it on up here. Took the tire off. Went down Les Schwab and says, "I need this patch." Now, by the way, Les Schwab used to charge me $30 for patching tractor tires. They don't charge. They're not charging anything for uh, patching these little tractor tires now. They used to charge me $30, but they're not charging me nothing for them now. But anyway, I got on down there. He pulled the tire off. I had chewed the inside of the wall, the side wall, again where you could see the belts on in there. And it had a tube, but there was no way that was going to hold there. It's going to keep on popping hole. So I said, okay, well, put another tire on it then. He says, we'll see if we have one here, if we got to order it. So he looked it up. And that little front tire is no bigger than a riding lawnmower tire, about the same size, but a lot heavier duty. That little tire was $145. One tire, the size of a riding lawnmower. Well, I got to have one. Yeah, I said, go ahead and order it. He said, wait a second. He said, before you order it, he said, I got to tell you, if you order two tires, the second tire only costs you $10 more. So instead of paying $145 for one tire, I pay $155 and I get two tires. I said, well, okay, I'll take the second tire for the $10. So yeah, that was a plus. I did get the second tire for only $10 more. But now I have to wait till the middle of next week before those tires will be on in. So I'm trying to figure out how am I going to move these lugs around without having the tractor. They did kind of patch the tire over there. I begged them to patch it, just patch the tube, put it in there. And he says, okay, but he said, I'm not going to inflate it more than 10 pounds. That means that I can't use the front bucket or nothing. I can just move the tractor here and there to get things out of my way, but it'll go flat if I try to work it. So I could probably use the rototiller, but I can't use the front bucket at all. So that sucks. Anyway, let's see what's been said. Hey, Junkyard, went from 102 to 83 here. Lots of wind, had a big patch of rain going north to south, 3 miles east. You didn't get a drop. A bummer. 81 where Judith and Dan is. Welcome break from the heat. Man, I wish I could say that. Actually, no, I'm glad we don't get that kind of heat. 90 degrees is plenty hot enough for us here. Getting up to the hundreds, oh man, that's unbearable. Yeah, if you can get a rim, you have a spare tire. Actually, I do have a. Last time I messed up a tire on this little tractor. I went to the Kubota and they quoted me for the tire at that time was, and this is like 2 or 3 years ago. It was like $120 for just for the tire. But they told me that if I they found a place where they only had two of them left, and they said they'd sell them to me. It was they would sell it for $70 per tire with it mounted on the rim. Stupid me, I only took one because it was going to cost me $140 for two tires and two rims, whereas it cost me $140 just for one tire. You know, but I would have got the tires. Well, being that I ripped the sidewall open on it, I thought, well, I'll save the $70. So anyway, I got one tire and one rim, and that tire and rim with the sidewall ripped off is still over here. So when I get the two rims, the two tires on in, next week, I'll take the two, take the one that's damaged here, the tire that's damaged on the tractor, and the one that has the sidewall. I'll take them both on in, and then mount them both. But the problem with doing that is these tires are aggressive tractor tread, so they're all pointed in a V, and they should go the one way. So if I'm using the one as a spare, it might go the right way, it might go back on backwards, and that's just what it's going to be. So I'll have to keep an eye out for it to get an extra rim, so I can have both tires with them mounted in the right direction. But it ain't no real big deal. I'll survive. Looking forward to getting the sawmill over because at the end here, I never did weld stops on the end to keep the sawmill from rolling off. So I got to get that fixed. And the other deal is my hand crank. I know the number of you already seen. Well, that I got to hold the hand crank to keep it from turning when I'm cutting because the log clamp or the clamps on the sawmill to keep it from raising or lowering. The ones that clamp it in place, they don't work anymore. It's just a cheapo Harbor Freight. So I'm going to make a setup kind of like what Woodland Mills has on theirs. I'm going to cut a piece of steel and rig it on up at the crank with notches in there so I can crank it and click it in whichever notch. And each turn on it is approximately a quarter of an inch. So if I put four notches in a circle, one circle is a complete turn. If I just put four notches on in there, that's going to be four. Each notch will be a 16th of an inch. And I don't think I need to get any more accurate than that. Now I know those Woodlands mills they get a lot more accurate than that. But that's where I'm at with that stuff. I'm looking forward to getting that on over there and get back to doing some milling. I got a bunch of white oak I got to get milled up, a bunch of maple I got to get milled up. I got a bunch of the yew wood. I really looking forward into milling that. I want to see what that's going to look like. I'll bet you that's going to be some pretty stuff. But, yeah, and I got the what was that pine that I got is a southern pine or not pine? I mean pin oak, southern pin oak. I do have some of that to mill too. Yeah, it's just a basic unit. I'm perfectly happy with it. If I had to do it all over again, though, I would have bought the Woodlands Mills. I still, I'm not, I've got friends that have the Woodlands Mills, and they're all sold on their tracks. But I've seen them, the experiences that they're having with their tracks that they have on those things. I'm not impressed with the Woodland Mills tracks that they have. So I would have still made my own tracks. If I got a Woodland Mills, make my own tracks because the tracks are a lot better. But the sawmill and the sawmill itself, the motor and all that whole part, I don't think any of that is any better, other than the 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 crank that raises and lowers it. That's a better setup. But the sawmill itself isn't any better. I don't believe it's pretty much the same thing. The carriage part, the rollers and everything else, all that part is by far superior. Yeah, that'd be hard on. I feel sorry for Hunter Biden. That's a bummer. Poor Hunter. He's got it rough. If the people at Fox would just stop picking on him, he'd be okay. I mean, it's not his fault. I mean, it's Fox News' fault for reporting all this stuff that he does. You using a basic log splitter? That's what I have, a basic log splitter that I use quite a bit. You know, Grandpa Paul, keep this in mind. If you get some cedar rounds, those wood splitters, that I split shake with my hydraulic a wood splitter. You can still split shake. You won't get it's a lot harder to get, like 12, 14 inch wide to big wide, but mine, I split plenty of 8 and 10 inch wide shake on there. Does a good job, and that pays more than firewood, especially when you consider slitter. But it has to, no knots in it. It's got to be straight grain. Probably that's why, junkyard. Yeah, I guess Newsom decided to build, making it where victims of crimes can now sue in California. They can sue the gun manufacturer. I don't think that that's going to hold up though. Four not 12 foot around that, measuring around the circumference of it. That would be, let's see here. That's a pretty good sized chunk of wood. That would be like a 4 foot log. You don't want to size that down before you start splitting that into shake. Also, there might be, if you get some really nice straight grain stuff there, Grandpa Paul, that hardwoods makes a good shake roof too if you find somebody that has a demand for it. He probably did, junkyard. Yeah, like blaming Playboy for carpal tunnel. It was Playboy's magazine's fault. Holy cow! Yeah, I don't think my little tractor can move that one around. I tell you what, it's the logs that I get are most of them. I have moved logs around that were 3 foot in diameter, through the middle of it, 8, 10, 12 footers and stuff. I can't pick them up. All I can do is roll them in place and just to steer them. I have to get to one end of the log or the other and push it so it'll be rolling the right direction, and it's a pain. You got to have a big bar to get through that stuff. You usually you do that from a double cut, cut from both sides. What kind of wood is it, Grandpa Paul, that you got that you're selling? You know, guy come in and move the logs for you and chips for you. You know, Paul, I don't know if this would be helpful for you, but if you took two logs, well, let me turn my camera around so you can see what I'm talking about here. Let's see here. Go to my camera settings and reverse it. Okay. You see how I have these logs over here? They're sitting on top of a log here and one over there. If you did something like that, set two logs on there, and then at the very end here, put two logs in and lengthwise. So this log would roll over and drop in the saddle of that one. And then you'd be able to cut those into firewood without it dropping down and binding on the saw. That way, when they're there with the tractor moving your logs, he could stack up like 4 or 5 of them at a time on the deal. I don't know if that'd be beneficial for you or not, but something to consider. I mean, when I'm cutting logs into firewood, um, oops, let me switch that. Okay, there we go. When I'm cutting logs into firewood, I'd like to have two logs side by side that they're sitting on, but I'm cutting them, up a high waist height, so I don't have to bend over to pick up the firewood. I can. My back's still plenty strong, but I can't bend over much. I mean, bending over is what kills me. One chainsaw with a 22-inch bar, man. I got a 25-inch bar on mine, and it still wouldn't be able to make it through a lot of the stuff that I do. But I try to avoid those logs. Speaking of a log that's 12 foot measured around, there's the log up here. One of these days, I'd go up there and do a video of it. Up there, they call it the tree. We got a Doug fir tree up above the mountain house. I took my 100-foot tape measure so I could measure the base of the tree. It was 33 and a half feet. It's been several years since I measured it, but the base of the tree, measuring on the base of the tree, on the base of it, was 33 and a half feet around. That's a big tree. Oh man, I want to fire up that chainsaw here, and it is cooling down a little bit. I might go ahead and get that fire going before much longer. Fire up the chainsaw and cut the logs on the bucket. It must be cooling off. The chickens are starting to run around chasing after bugs again now. I think I will fire up that chainsaw. I'll switch the camera around so you guys can watch. You can look at my backside while I run the chainsaw. Let's see here. I'm gonna take my glasses off. Can't see as well. Hopefully I don't hit the bucket with the chain. I just sharpened that chain. Woo, pretty lake, huh? That's good enough right now. I'll start that fire in a little bit. Rest the back. You can feel it tightening up. Okay. What did I miss? Okay, take care, Judith. Dan, if you're still here. Oh, I will be starting a fire before much longer, but what, Vegeta? You don't have to be such a pain. You always want Daddy to give you loves, don't you? You always want Daddy's loves and attention. When Mommy comes over and gives me a hug, you get jealous. Try to get right in between us, huh? Well, your camera doesn't work, Grandpa Paul? I mean, I do you have a cell phone? Your cell phone camera would work. As a matter of, do you have internet? You know where the logs are at. Well, I could send you a link. I could drop a link on in here that you could click on, where you come up to the live chat, and then you can put the camera on it. But you would have to have internet. You would have to have internet out there with your phone. Well, here, let me drop you a link. Let's see here. See if I can remember how to do this. Okay, now I got to remember how to. Okay, post comment. Come on. There's the link. Just click that link, and before you click that link though, make sure you turn off your YouTube or whatever first of all, so we don't get the feedback. Actually, you're on your phone, so it'll probably shut it down anyway. No. And when you get on up here, and just give me a few minutes to get things set up, get it switched on over. Let's see here. In the meantime, I had to go here to, what is it, in brand? No, it was in settings. Make this full screen. Get a layout. Yeah, there we go. I'm slowly getting proficient with this phone. Um, yeah, give it a try again, Paul. Yeah, these are steel foot sandals. You know me about safety first. I hate steel-toed shoes with a passion. I worked on a few jobs where they were required. I ended up taking some plastic and stick it in the toes of my boots and make it look like they were steel-toed. It wasn't as hard on the feet. I've never been able to find a pair of steel toes that fit me, that the toes fit comfortably around my toes for whatever reason. It's about Android problems, bummer. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you then, Paul. They are plastic now. Steel is too high. Yeah, when I did wear steel toes, I had nightmares of like dropping a beam on my foot and having it crushed down. I just crushed the steel into the toe. Then you can take your foot out, take your feet out. Yeah, I mean, it was like I think steel toes are, at least in wood type of framing construction, is really a bad idea. I'm sure it's a bad idea in steel construction when it's point and dandy. If you drop a 2x4 or something like that on your foot or something, only weighs 20, 30 pounds. But if you drop something that's, you know, 300 or 400 pounds or more, I think it's going to slam into your foot, pinch it on your toe. Well, you can buy steel-toed sneakers. I mean, that's what I was wearing. The job that I was on, they allowed you to wear, you could wear boots or sneakers, but they had to be steel-toed. And you could get the steel-toed sneakers at Fred Meyer's, which is mainly a West Coast thing. Where else could you get? There was different places where you could buy steel-toed tennis shoes, but they're uncomfortable too. You know, if those steel toes aren't made to fit your feet, they're uncomfortable. They've had steel toes tennis shoes for that was what was it, the late '80s, early '90s? It was in the late '80s when I got them. And they weren't that much more than regular sneakers. They were about $10 or $15 more for a pair. You think the majority of the cost was in the label that they had to put on the shoes? Yeah, most places are pretty anal when they say steel toes. They require that the boot or the shoe actually says steel toe on it. That because they come across people like me that would put a piece of plastic in there and claim that it was steel toe. If you didn't have steel toed boots, the company made you wear a slip over that looked like like tin cans. Oh man, I wouldn't. If it was comfortable and didn't hinder my work, I'd rather do that or have a decent work pair of work boots without the steel toes and have something slip over it. I'd rather have that if it wasn't cumbersome, as long as it didn't interfere with my work. Condom steel. Just roll them on. Guaranteed not to rupture. Yeah, that's why I wouldn't want to wear them. I hated them. Well, it made me nervous as hell. Yeah, don't drop anything heavy on your toes. That's the knowledge. But hey, would that matter whether you was wearing steel toes or not? I mean, just don't drop anything on your toes. Common sense. Well, let's see here. I should get this fire started. Give me a second here. Okay. Yeah, put the camera like that for right now. Take my glasses off. I won't be able to see chat for a bit anyway. This pizza box, no. This is not my pizza. That was that on the video that I showed you guys of the Arkansas Trail um, wagon that I found down at the bottom of the property. This was in that wagon. That's where Pete grows. That's from Lebanon. No, Figueroa's isn't Sweet Home. I was thinking of another one. Some of this maple is still a little bit green. There's enough mixture of dried wood as well as not completely green, but partially green. Okay, that's it for a little bit. You can't see the flames. Does that help any? Not really. Hey, Stray. How's Stray doing this evening? Yeah, except for I'm all coffeeed out. It's too warm for coffee right now. I stopped drinking coffee about 3 o'clock this morning. Um, Paul, the uh, the guys that remove trees around here, when they remove a tree, anything that I would value that I would want, they charge for it. They don't just give it away. Especially if it's like black walnut out of somebody's backyard. That's stuff you can buy a brand new car with. Um, this here that I got, this is from a storm, over here a couple months ago. I had a maple tree that came on down by the road, so I had to clean it on, clean that all on up. Unless you're needy, that's right, Stray. Oh, there's some flames for us. Let's see here. I could get myself in the picture. Let me do this here. I'll have to turn myself around. Let's see the settings. Camera. Push it back. And then move you guys on over here. And I'll have to move myself around over here. Okay, let's see here. Let's see what we got here. I'll have to move myself still. But a little bit over here. There we go. Move my laptop where I can see it. Hey, Gator. Yeah, most of my wood anymore, Paul, I actually buy it. It costs me 40 for a 40-yard dump load. Um, it's about $500, 600 bucks. And we'll let anybody in here. A second, you guys are getting ahead of me. Just a second here. Let's see here. Yeah, how did you get in here, dog? But the deal is, with me buying a 40-yard dump truck load out of it, I can get a lot of, half of it is lumber that I could actually sell. That would make me the amount of money to pay for the load. That means that my firewood would be for free if I was to sell the wood. And buying it that way, I can legally sell it. Yeah, stuff like that. No, I wish I could, Gator. That'd be awesome if I could. Oh, now you're making me sick. You're making me sick, dog. Yeah, I let them dump the chips for free for me. Yeah, I use a lot. I'll use the chips up. Most of the time, first of all, most people don't want to come all this way on out for chips, so they got to be somewhat in the area. I mean, like, a number of the tree guys that I know that are, they go in and do tree removal. They had the big boom trucks and the lifts and all that different stuff. They're actually, a number of them are now starting to buy their own sawmills and mill in it. The hardwoods to sell in it because there's really good money in it for them. So it's, I get all sorts of reject lumber wood, but I don't want nasty gnarly stuff that every time you cut on into it, it starts splitting down the rest of the way of the log or something like that. Yeah, just dump them in the holes of Michigan to fill up those holes. This is going to have to burn a while to get a nice bed of coals before I can start cooking on it. I got some scrap beef or stuff that probably most people would use it for stew meat, but I'm just going to go ahead and fry that on up and mix it with some vegetables. It ain't going to be nothing fancy, and it might even be a little bit on the chewy tough side, but I don't care. Put some hot dogs over that fire. There you go. Hey, I do have some hot dogs in the house too. And I guarantee it ain't no steam till going to touch my wieners. Have we even seen out of the infrastructure bill? Yeah, what a crock that was, huh? I wonder whose pocket got padded over the infrastructure bill. I mean, yeah, I don't want to get too much into politics. You're going to get me worked up, junkyard. Then I'll have everybody pissed off at me. I'll piss in a pan and steam some weenies for you there, dog. Those would be the best hot dogs you've ever eaten. FJB, is that a coffee there, Iron Dog? That sounds like a coffee. Oh, I was thinking MFJB. getting there. I'd rather have more coals on it for hot dogs. You know, I really should turn this into a hot dog cooking video, huh? I mean, I mean, Iron Dog is here. He could learn from it. That would be fun to do, Tim. He was going to go get some of that oil. He was going to force him to give him some of that oil, wasn't he, Junkyard? Uh huh. All right, Iron Dog. All right. So says the cafeteria chef. Put it this way, dog. I'd never let you steam cook a weenie for me. And even knowing that you've even done that, I don't even think I'd let you fry one up for me. Oh, what's those coals looking like in there? Let me take a gander at it. Ooh, that fire's hot. Okay. I'll let that start cooking on down and or burning on down. Take care, Stray. Whoops, giving away. He's giving away our oil reserves. Oh, what, girl? What? You come back over here to torment me some more? You come back over here to torment me some more, huh? Okay. You're a pain. You're a royal pain. She is a pain, you know it. Yeah, well, he also thinks that lowering the taxes, removing the federal 18 cents a gallon tax is going to make a big difference too. Hello, Jerry. Oh man, that's a good looking fire. Yeah, I'd start enjoying it more if it's later in the evening too. Maybe I'll keep it going after I eat. I don't think Newsom has a prayer of a chance of winning. If he's the one that actually runs, I don't think he has a. I don't think he has a prayer of a chance. Yep. On charger with the came unplugged. I'm gonna get that plugged back in. Nice fire for s'mores. Yeah, I don't care for s'mores though. I don't even like I don't even like the chocolate and the graham crackers would be fine, but I don't like marshmallows. Yeah, well that blue barrel's about 10 feet away. It's not very close to that fire. Mm. I should put that laptop a little higher where it's easier to see. Oh well. Let's see how good a smoke this tree is making. Yeah, I mean it is maple, but it doesn't have that strong maple scent to it, like I was hoping. But it will do. I mean, it's not like I'm smoking the meat this time. I want to be frying it in the pan. I don't want the little scraps falling on through down through the grill. Let's see, what did I do with it now? Yeah, it sucks that they only put 10 pounds of air in that tire, and I know he's right. If I try to air that tire up anymore, I'll probably blow it again. So there ain't going to be no log moving with it. Which means I might as well go ahead and start firing up the sawmill tomorrow and just cut what's on the deck here. At least have that part done. At least cut them into camp so it's all stackable. Tennis shoes, how's cornbread feeling today? Is he feeling any better yet? You're a pain. Quit sniffing my fingers with your wet nose. There's a bunch of big old boulder, well, not really boulders, or rocks that are probably about 2 or 3 foot in diameter down below. I wanted to get them moved up here because I want to be building another rock retaining wall up here by the house. And we can't do that with the tractor until I get the new tire. He's doing good. That's good. Tennis shoes. You know he's feeling good when he does this. Until he does this, then he's still under the weather. Woman, fetch me a cup of coffee now. Well, just don't report a junkyard, put it that way. No, actually, even though that it's even though that it's enforced by the state or and the county, it's actually the federal government that establishes our regulations now. They started doing that, oh, I don't know, six under well, probably more like close to 12 years ago. It's been quite a while now. And when Obama was president, that's one thing he got. I don't know if the state voluntary switched it to that or what, but the federal government took control because of the EPA. The EPA managed. I think it's for all states. Realistically, now whether the states are enforcing the federal government's, our state does enforce the federal government's rules. Good deal. Uh, I have a hard time believing that they did that under Biden, though. What was that through the Supreme Court? They did that. Oh wow, cool. So does that mean that their current laws that the EPA has they're null and void? I'll have to find out what that means for our fires here. What they're doing, because then in our state they would probably just go ahead and adopt the last laws that was written and enforce it as their own laws. Then is my guess of what they'll actually do. Okay, but the state can still adopt those laws like as their own, and so they can enforce them on the state level. So I'll have to find out now if that's what's happening. I don't know what the deal is with it. I am curious to know on that though. But so far, seriously though, it hasn't been the EPA enforcing these laws. It's been our fire departments, the sheriff's office. It's been that's who's been enforcing it. Now, what they told me when they came on out here, before the federal government got involved doing it here like that way, they had leeway. I was able to have burns, and they couldn't do much about it. But now that the federal government, when the federal government stepped on in, they had to enforce the federal government laws. So I don't know how this is going to apply now. So now wait a second now. If they can only enforce laws by the laws that Congress passes, does that mean that the IRS can't adopt laws and rules, or they can adopt them, but they can't enforce them? It has to be it has to be Congress that writes the laws to be enforced. Something to be considered there. That'd be funny if they looked at it. I mean, that opens the door to where, okay, well, if the EPA can't write and enforce laws, then why can the IRS write and enforce laws? Might have something here, guys. Boy, wouldn't that be something if that went to the Supreme Court? I would love to see that happen. Not that it would do me any good now. It should. I would think so. I mean, seriously, I don't even think that there should be a federal tax from the federal tax. I think the states, each state should collect the income tax, whether it be through however they choose to do it, and go back to the head tax, and then so each state would owe the amount of taxes based on the population of their state. You understand that the Congress ran taxes before the Federal Reserve. And the IRS could be struck down, and Congress would have to tax people. And I'm not opposed to Congress taxing people. You know, I think that there should be a head tax. That there's X amount of dollars per head, regardless of your income. I think there should be an X tax, a head tax. Um, and there also needs to be a corporate tax. A healthy corporate tax. Because let's face it, corporations, you know, they get huge benefits from the federal government, whether it be through grants or whatever it is. They get huge protection from all sorts of stuff. I mean, a corporation is they buy Capitol Hill. That's why, I understand how business works, and if the corporates get taxed, they're going to pass it off to the people. I understand all that, but There's got to be some way to make it work. I don't know what the answer is, but there's got to be some way that they can tax those because I mean, for people to be able to go down and buy all sorts of vacation homes and write them off as a business expenses, that this is just wrong. Or for somebody to say, hey, you know what, I can get buy fish instead of buying tuna from the East Coast, we can buy tuna from Japan or some other country or from China for a lot cheaper, and we're still going to charge our customers the same amount of money. And if something goes haywire, the federal government bails them on out. You know, it's just if they're going to be protected by the military, these corporations are protected basically by the military to be able to go overseas and do business. Hey, they need to pay more money in taxes. Yeah, he probably is, junkyard. Are the lobbyist groups? Yep. Well, I don't believe. First of all, there shouldn't even you know lobby. There shouldn't even be such a thing as a lobbyist in the legal form of what we recognize today, where you pay somebody to represent you to go to Washington D.C. The only lobbying that I think should be legal is me as an individual going to lobby for a cause maybe that I have here or whatever it might be, but I'm representing myself what I think to be law for what I'm running into here, or a corporation such as Ford. It has to be an owner, you know, that is actually working in the business that can go to Washington D.C. and say, "Hey, we're running into this problem," and let them do the lobby instead of hiring some third party group on out here that just gets to rub shoulders with all the right people. They, make it back to what it's supposed to be. The lobbyists now. I mean, they get the laws passed on through based on who they know, and it's not even about the cause. It's about, well, this company is paying me big money, so they can make big profits off a favor done to them for tax purposes or whatever. Instead of addressing real problems that banking might have. All banking, not just isolated to one bank. Like when Obama passed the Obama health care, and then he started saying to all of his cronies, all his buddies, well, they wouldn't be subject to that tax because this, that, whatever. Well, that's because the lobbyists lobbied for it to go that way for them. What's that one, cornbread? You mean unemployment? A lot more people be unemployed until it found its balance. I mean, okay, they say that if you give a rich guy, tell him, okay, we won't charge you but 10% tax, so you can make all this profit, millions of dollars in profits. But all of a sudden we say, okay, we're going to raise your tax up to 40%. They say, well, I'm going to lower my income then. But reasonably, you would think that, okay, if there's no chance of it ever going back, it's going to stay at 40%. Do you want to stay in business or not? And if you can't provide the services on out there, somebody else is going to step on in there. And that's where you got to stop government from blocking competition for that guy there. You open it on up because if I if I'm investing and I'm making either 30% profit off of the money that I have in the bank, I'd say I have $1 million over here, and right now I'm making 70% profit. Okay, all of a sudden they do something that balances the trade and everything. And now I'm only making, instead of me making 70% profit, I'm making 30 or 40% profit. That 30 or 40% profit that I'm making still pays better than me having it sitting in the bank collecting interest. That's just so as a business guy is going to be looking at that and say, hey, you know what? You know, I'd be better off making some money. Now they'll hold on out, forcing the government to buckle. It's a game of chicken, is the way they play it. But once the government says, hey, we're not going to play this game of chicken, look at it's only fair that you pay your fair share. And yes, the corporations are going to pass all of the taxes off to the customer. At a point, the customer will say, hey, this is getting too much. We ain't paying it. And they'll stop buying that product. And then the manufacturer says, well, we're going to have to figure out a way to lower our price, so they'll start buying it again. Oh, wow. Yeah, I got to let me open that up in another page. I got to read that. I hadn't heard about that. Link a new tab. Okay, I got to bring my chat back up. Wait a second. Oh, yeah, I did open it up. Okay, there it is. Okay, I want to read that later, cornbread. Yeah, you finally got something done. Ah, I'll be right back. I'm going to run in the house and get the meat and stuff ready. I'll be right back. Yeah, it ain't going to be nothing fancy. Just salt and pepper, bell pepper and onion. No, well, I'm gonna have to put this up out of reach. Already got fajita all interested in it. Yeah, pine needles might fall in it up there, but I don't have a lid on it, but that's okay. Pine needles will be good seasoning. Let's see here. Jesse was the one that started questioning about that. Good on him. Dog does a better job. Are you sure about that, Junkyard? I didn't hear it, Joe. And if it was worse than dogs, I'm glad I didn't hear it. Oh, I didn't bring a hot pad out. I'll have to tear off a piece of box and use that for a hot pad to lift the pan off. Let's see if it's ready to drop in. I see some oil starting to bubble. Yeah, I think it is. Rooster's trying to get himself some. Got a little bit of meat in there already. Wanted to wait on that, but oh well. Let's see here. Don't know if you all can see from there. Let's move you a little closer. Come on. Get out of there. Oh, come on. Already getting into my meat. Did you all see that? She was getting sneaky. She was getting sneaky. Well, that's about as all you're going to get there. I think she got more. I'll have to review that. What time frame is that at? I got to see how much she stole out of there. That was at 146, roughly. I'll have to review that, see how much she got. I do have some steak seasoning in there, stuff I could add to it, but sometimes I just want to be able to taste all the beef without too much seasoning. You tried to send me some pictures of Messenger? I guess got a little salt in it. Good old sea salt. No, I'm sorry, just Himalayan salt. And black pepper. And I guess I'll grab me a hot pad. You like my hot pad? You don't want to get it too hot. Whoa, well, there's a piece for you I just dropped. That's why my wife only lets me cook outside, because I'm always dropping stuff. Okay. Next of all, I need a stick. Fire more to one side. Okay. How's that looking? And what's the temperature like here? Better pull it back a little. Okay, girl. I better be over here where I can keep an eye on it so she don't get into it again. Whoa, 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 whoa. Just about pulled you guys over into the fire. That would have been good, huh? Okay. Now, let's see if I can fix the camera again. That's going to have to be good enough. Here we go. That's it. Watch out. They are. Okay. What happened to chat? There we go. Oh. Oops. Yeah, she would burn her snout trying to sneak some now. It ain't nothing fancy, but it'll be good. Mm. Yeah, that's good. I would say it's done. Too bad I was too lazy to make rice to go with it. This would have been really good with rice. Mm. Oh yeah, that's some yummy stuff right there. Okay. Ah, hey, Boneyard. Mm. Won't let me magnify it anymore. Yeah, with Boneyard here, I should have put some Cajun seasoning in it, huh? Actually, I don't have any Cajun seasoning right now. That would have been good in it. How's the little Yankee woman doing there, Boneyard? That's right. Well, my wife is a vegetarian, and my daughter only eats white meat. She doesn't eat beef or anything like that. So this is all mine. Hmm. Needs a little more black pepper. Boy, I tell you what, this is hitting the spot. Might have to next time do like Cab Seven does and make some coffee on the fire to go with it. But I have to do the pour over. I don't have a percolator. Maybe someday I'll buy one. And Jerry, this is just scrap beef. Something you make stew meats out of or something. Just some scrap beef that we got, and I just sautéed it with onion and bell pepper and salt and black pepper. Nothing fancy, but it is good. So beer fries with tomato sauce, onions and peppers. Yeah. Boy, I tell you what, this is delicious, guys. And I thought the meat would be tougher than this. I'm not saying it's tender, but it's not all that tough either. Trying to get some vegetables with it too. Oh man, I'm going to have to try bacon biscuits over the fire here. Mm. Guys, you don't know what you're missing. Why is it that food that's cooked over a campfire always tastes so much better? Oh yeah, that's what I want to do one of these mornings, Boneyard. Is I want to make some country gravy and country gravy and maybe biscuits or country fries, either one. To put the country gravy on. Do that for breakfast over a fire one of these mornings. Yep. And I still can't give her any treats, although she sneaks a few when I'm not looking. If something falls on the floor, I don't get anal about it. Hmm. I had some rice. Got to put soy sauce and rooster sauce on it. That I can't say. I call it rooster sauce. I can't pronounce that. It is Zaraka. Am I saying that right? Or maybe I should call it cock sauce. It has a rooster on it. Yeah, yeah, I know I can make biscuits in a fry pan, and I have done some baking on here. I just take another frying pan, put it on the top, upside down, kind of like a Dutch oven. Then I'll take some of the coals just like you would a Dutch oven, and I put it on top. But I just haven't done the biscuit part yet. Hello, Irvin. 2:40 in the morning. Wow, you must be over in Europe somewhere. But yeah, yeah. I mean, I've baked pizza. I've made pizza in the frying pan like that. I've done a few things, a few different times. It helps having two frying pans of the same size. I'm sorry, girl, you can't have any. You all see her on there? Yeah, you can see the top of her begging. Mommy would get mad at me if I shared with you. She doesn't want another vet bill. Hmm. Guys, this stuff really is addictive. I was only going to eat half of it and save the other half for later. But it's too good. I'm not. I can't say this. It's gonna get wolfed down now. Mm. I think they taste a lot better that way too. Homemade biscuits are junkyard. They're fresh, hot out of the oven. Mm. Oh man, I'm gonna have to do this more often. Yeah, Ollie man. If you would like to get help on it, I'm going to have to start remembering to put treats in my pocket or something for stir fry when I do this. It breaks my heart not being able to give her any treats. Grandpa, you always give me a bite of everything. I know we can't afford another $5,000 vet bill. I don't think it's that much, but yeah, that's stir fry. That's my granddaughter. This is different. Now my daughter, she's laying over there politely. She's laying over there on the driveway. She's never. I've never just fed her treats right off the get go like I used to do with her. You guys seen that all the time when I feed her the treats and stuff. So she's used to it. Now she begs all the time. She's just pissed off that I never give her treats anymore. Fajita hasn't experienced any of that. Now Fajita will come on in here and sneak it. Come on over, Bones Yard. If you hurry, you'll be here in time for the last bite, and it's going fast. Hmm. Hmm. All gone, guys. That was delicious. Man, I can't believe how good that was. I think one of these mornings, I will have a morning fire and do I'm gonna. I've never done biscuits before. I'll probably have my wife out here helping me on that part. She'll mix the dough for the biscuits and stuff. I'll do the bacon and I'll fry the taters on up and make some country gravy to go with it. I think that'll be pretty good. Be a good meal to try on here. Well, after that bill was that there was a stir fry. You know, I've been leery about giving fajita any table scraps. Now I do. If she's not around, I'll give fajita. A table scrap here and there per se. Not when I'm sitting down and eating, but I mean later on if I'm in the kitchen doing the cleanup or something, after I'm done eating or something, I'll give fajita a table scrap. But I keep it. I don't do that every day. Maybe once or twice a week. Urban, you live with a vegetarian too, huh? Yeah, my wife's been a vegetarian her entire life. Her parents were a vegetarian most of their life. the grandparents became vegetarians when they became Adventists at a young age. So that's all my wife ever knew, and that was the same deal with me. I mean, my parents became vegetarians when they were at a very young age. When they're when my grandpa became a Seventh Day Adventist. Me, I like meat, but I mean, I was a vegetarian growing on up, and I like vegetarian foods. I mean, I love vegetables. I mean, I could go vegetarian if I had no other choice, but I do like having steak and chicken and stuff. Now, going completely vegan, that that I don't know if I could. I don't think I could go vegan. I mean, we don't use much milk at all, hardly, very seldom. But I use lots of cheese and lots of eggs. And like we have cottage cheese and sour cream fairly frequently too. And I ain't giving any of that stuff up. Having a baked potato with a scoop of butter and a scoop of sour cream on it, sprinkle some fresh tags on top of it. Take that baked potato where the skin's a little bit red, where it's brown and stuff, and don't throw those skins away, man. That's the best part of the potato. I don't know if you guys heard of the barbecue pit boys. I watched them do a video. I don't remember if they was making baked mashed potatoes or making baked potato salad. It is making baked mashed potatoes is what it is. I remember now. And I got so disgusted with it this one time. I used to really love watching that show. They did really had some really good content. They did one that I just got so disgusted with. He was gonna make some baked mashed potatoes, and after he baked them in the coals, he was taking the potatoes and he'd cut them open. Then he'd just grab the potato and swish the white meat of the potato out of the side of the skin, which is fine. I have no problem with that. But then he was taking those skins and throwing them in the trash. Like, wait a second, dude. Open those up, put some sour cream in there, some bacon, some chives, and butter and stuff, and serve them as hors d'oeuvres, man. I mean, why would he do that? Just sit down and had to make sure it was thin enough bugs. I just could not understand why he was throwing those potato skins, man. I would have stuffed them with something to eat. What do y'all think I should cook next time? Next Wednesday night? I'm gonna do a cooking video every Wednesday night. What do y'all think that I should cook next Wednesday evening? Give me an idea. And don't say pork because I don't eat pork. I don't eat anything that's biblically unclean. I don't judge other people that do. So just because I don't think that I'm judgmental to other people, but for me, I don't. I'd say venison, but I don't know. I don't know if I got any more venison left in the freezer. Everybody must fell asleep on me. I know what I'm going to do. One video. Tim's going to sell me a waffle iron that he's got, a cast iron waffle iron. I'm going to do one video in the morning. I can do it in the evening. Make some waffles. Make some Belgian. Well, I don't know if this one will make Belgian waffles, but anyway, make some waffles, and also I'll make some ice cream. I'll do with the ice cream maker. Make some homemade ice cream. And if the blackberries are on yet, you know, the blackberries on the waffles with ice cream, that'd be a heck of a that would be a heck of a breakfast. Hello, zombie. That would be a heck of a breakfast. But I might even do that for dinner. I don't mind eating waffles and pancakes for nighttime. Yeah, I'll do that as evening. So that way my wife and daughter can enjoy the video with doing the live stream with me. Instead of me eating in front of them, they're saying, "But I'm hungry." Shut up, woman. Eat your steak. Eat your ice cream. My favorite is vanilla. I do want to, when I make a batch of ice cream, I got to get to make it again this summer now that it's getting warm again. I want to try crumbling up some graham crackers in it, and peanut butter and chocolate is what I'd like to try. Wait till it starts getting hard. When it starts freezing, don't mix the graham crackers initially. Just put it in afterwards, so they won't absorb as much moisture. Just put them in right at the tail end. I'm not overly fond of fruit mixed in my ice cream. Don't get me wrong, I do love fruits. Here, how much battery do I have left? Better check. Run it down. It is goddamn brown stew and biscuits for next week. Well, you can commentate on here. I don't have the set oven. I'd have to make it in the frying pan. I wouldn't want to use any of their stainless steel. Okay, good night, Jerry. We'll catch you later. Yeah, you're an hour behind Jerry, I believe. I was thinking, well, wait a second, it was getting. Jerry said it's finally dark and it's getting dark where you're at, but you're further south. Your days would be longer than yours right now. Well, the question is, should I wet this down and kill the fire and save the charcoal? I think I will, guys. I want to kill the fire. I'm going to be in the live stream myself here real shortly. I'll let you guys watch me kill the fire because I am saving the charcoal. I'm dumping it on into that blue container over there. trying to save myself, not make myself run biochar. You guys will get to see the steam come rushing on up. Let's see, where's the end of the garden? Holy. Where did it go? Where did it... Here comes the... Why don't I get on this side? Yeah, and if some of this wood that's not burned all the way into biochar, I can always burn that later. Got to make sure it's well out, otherwise I'll have nothing but white ashes in the morning. Well, guys, I thank you kindly for coming back and enjoying watching me eat. That was a very fine meal for me. It filled my gut. We'll see you next Wednesday night. Maybe in one of these mornings, I might go live too. Maybe Friday morning. We'll see. Play it by ear. I know Dog goes live tomorrow morning, and I doubt if I will. So, anyway, we'll catch you later. Bye.